Omen. So what that'll do, at least from both the attacking and defensive side, again, having double controller allows you to take a lot more space, get a lot of map control, but you can also set up a lot of early fakes when it comes to the attacking side. So that's something maybe Goofy Goobers have to be very wary of.
Yeah, and I think just another point to add to that, you know, I am just, you know, I'm almost floored at how quickly, you know, these players actually ended up catching up to the Viper meta of things. But folks, actually going into our game, yes, the best of 3 between the Goofy Goobers and Build by Gamers is starting off, and it's starting off hot, Sully. Look at the Goofy Goobers, 3 players going up that mid side, getting all of this information. B side is about to be a little bit of a war started off by Freakazoid.
Oh yeah, and these 3 players all coming straight from the same side. It's 1 kill, and now, unfortunately, BBG, they've got to split their attention, right? Take the fight on the site, but also worry about your flank. So take the space that you've got. You know there are 3 players on your back. You can maybe make a bail, run straight to the A site, but it doesn't look like it, as unfortunately Frosty is going to catch a couple players off guard, but it nets no kills.
Yeah, that was all Frosty's EK there. He had it. But even then, that's an easy trade spot. Instead, now BBG still beelining it over towards that A site. Look at Freakazoid shutting down that path. D-Cop still taking one down. Will coming up from the mid side, helping out. Still now that 2v2. The attackers still holding on to the spike, and they end up cutting up the path. Where Goofy Goobers still back over towards that kitchen spot. What is Poach thinking here? Orb to cover up cross. So just about 20 seconds left. D-Cop coming in quick through the green box. Could definitely get some decent damage in, but Poach, early a whimper. Suya catching Poach on the way out, and now Will stuck up against the corner with a shot to the leg of Suya. He ends up getting himself a 4K to open up the game, and Build by Gamers certainly sweating after their redirection.
Okay, that's one way to kick things off. Will with the 4K, huge aggression coming out from Goofy Goobers right off the bat. A smoke down towards mid, but they decided to cheat right through. They basically walked 3 players down mid, and it should have been their round, right? With that 3-player flank, a little bit of an overcommitment, I'd say, from Freakazoid to try and take so many 1v1s, but he looked like he was feeling it. So BBG, a nice recovery. Unfortunately, Goofy Goobers, no win there, but a couple of kills. They can maybe force up a little bit, but it looks like Freakazoid, the only one that's gone for the upgraded pistol, is BBG with their Spectres. It should be a clean round here, and it's all about, I think, maintaining economy, going to this 3rd round with a strong bonus.
Let's see how they can maintain. Goofy Goobers, 3 players over towards that AA area. It's definitely dangerous, but this Aldrone could do a whole lot here. He's trying to clear. Will helping out quite a bit. Same thing with that Boombot. D-Cop still towards that back line. Better launch out a... Ooh! Gotta launch out a bolt or 2, and watch out for Freakazoid taking one down. Still Will with that trade back. Still, of course, looking for more. Suya around the corner. And Will ends up getting at least that shoulder off. This BBG take should just be about easy on the A side, but they backed out completely, Sully. It's actually a B take, and that is well timed for them. Will is still farming over towards his site, and
okay.
D-Cop. Yeah, no, D-Cop was essentially there to just try to catch up whatever trade he could, but Will now officially has his showstopper and 8 kills thus far. What a guy.
Yeah, 4Ks back-to-back. Able to keep 4 players alive here is more importantly for BBG. You don't have to invest too much, like I mentioned earlier, but it's the full buy for Goofy Goobers and a 3rd round op from Suya. Interesting buy, I have to say, for it being so early. Will, like you mentioned, having his showstopper will really do so much work and open up sites now. But Goofy Goobers, it's the full buy. This is the true test, I'd say, for BBG. And Frosty, his early control here, at least down towards B main, should at least allow Goofy Goobers to play a little bit more heavy towards his A side. And the Aldrone as well, maybe given a Q, but Freakazoid, who wanted the kill in the dismiss, is going to get annihilated by Rarkar's Marshall.
Oh, and Suya might just get punished by Will coming up from behind. He wanted to come up quick for a trade. Oh, with that showstopper trying to clear out more of the back of sight. D-Cop knows exactly where that spike is being planted, but it's just an awkward scenario. It's right behind the wall. Now the rest of the Goofy Goobers, well, they just kind of sit and wait.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, crits lining up for post plants. And are these 2 actually going to approach this? I wouldn't be surprised if they save.
There should be no chance that Goofy Goobers go for this. I mean, you have the op still for Suya. It looks like at this point, yeah, just go for exits. Do whatever harm you can incur on BBG's economy.
Staying alive.
There's not going to be much, exactly, yeah. So Goofy Goobers on their full buy, going to concede the 3rd round. It's a very nice exit, and I love the way that wall is positioned. especially from BBG. The wall allows us that if anyone was to try and deny it, the swing is going to swing them right into the open, right? You see BBG dropping no smokes, no utility to cover that top Raptor, so they were expecting that swing. That's what they wanted, and they were able to catch the one player swinging out. And so Goofy Goobers, they're going to reinvest here, obviously having saving those 3 rifles. Now, BBG, again, it's kind of another bonus situation. You lose hardly anybody, and you pick up 2 rifles on the way out.
Stonks for BBG. Let's say their actual approach, because it's mostly mid-related. In comparison to Goofy Goobers have been, you know, quite on the anticipation type route thus far. 3 players over towards A early on. This does leave Giza in a little bit of a tough spot, but look at D-Cop already back over towards mid-ramp. Out with that Bulldog getting some damage. Frosty ZK gonna run. Giza trying to help out from the top rope. And Critical ends up taking him down instead. Frosty ZK, he was already low, and Rakar ends up taking him down for his favor. D-Cop, watch out though. A little bit more damage off that Shark Dart. Right onto Critical while he's looking at his drone. But Rakar continuing his reign of terror. 2nd kill for him thus far. These last 2 players for the Goofy Goobers, still a whole lot to work with. They still have mostly fully HP. And now D-Cop's got to watch his back though. He has a flank over towards the mid side. And now Freakazoid just gets stomped on by Rakar. And Will comes up at a very good moment over towards Kitchen. Well, there you go. Goofy Goobers, yeah. 4-0. And they're back over towards Sheriffs.
A lot of isolated 1v1s by BBG, or apologies, a lot of isolated 1vx's, it feels like. It's Goofy Goobers. They're kind of playing it feels like an individual game. 2 different slings, one from Frosty, and then that smoke forcing Giza to swing by himself after that pressure applied to Frosty. He's not able to take the re-swing. So great execution from BBG. I love how they're switching things up early on in this game, going towards mid, a full 5-man take towards A, full 5-man take towards B, keeping essentially Goofy Goobers on their toes. We know this is going to be Nick around, so we'll have to see again what Goofy Goobers can provide. Freakers are going to get spotted out by the Owl Drone, forcing him back, giving space to Will here. Now, how do they react? You can see the pressure towards B. Main and Freakazoid on a run is going to find a kill, so a 4v3, but still BBG come out on top with all this A main control.
Yeah, that makes sense. Again, it's just the rifles getting up those trades, right? But very good hold. Nice early on, just getting a whole lot of that damage. Now, watch out, though. Frosty, ZK, good timing on the counter toxins. And hugging that corner. No, do not do that. He just gets caught off in such a rough position. And because that Viper wall goes up, it's just a complete denial of information. Now look at this. BBG, they also have a player over towards Bathroom. Could be able to wrap up on that Sage. And indeed it has. Rakar has already pulled away a bit of that attention. And Poach comes in on a pretty good time over towards Sights. D-Cobb now the last person remaining in a 1v3. Already goes down to 34 HP. And a couple of bullets here and there. A gust of wind. Could just be about it. Critical right through the wall. 5-0. Fairly quick and easy. 2 casualties. Not enough to really affect the economy all too much. Goofy Goobers, however, back with rifles this next round.
And yeah, Tsuya back on the operator as well. See what impact he can find. It's been very minimal so far, and you want that op to be able to ring out shots consistently, especially on a map like Icebox, where on the defensive side, it feels like you're prone to get so many free angles, possible picks early on in the round. And Tsuya, granted, he's only had it 1 round before this. You're hoping maybe for a little bit more impact from him now, and that's seems to be what he's going for. He's got the right idea. Players are going to be walking into him, but can he find it? Owl Drone, unfortunately, is going to take the first shot, and now he's got to reposition. So well done from BBG initially to just force him off the sink. And now Freakazoid, he's been up here quite a lot, Gus, so I imagine that BBG, they should be expecting this, but if he gets a kill, he can get out so quick.
Oh, there you go. Freakazoid, very efficient. Off the initial picks over towards A, but needs to continue that drive. Tsuya has been dying to get himself a shot here, trying to get an opportunity round after round, but can't find anything for his favor. Watch out, D-Cop trying to return the favor back with a Hunter's Fury onto sight. Giza fast on the rotation, knocking off Rakar. The plant will go down right in front of sight as the Viper's Pit is live.
And now they're going for this post-plant situation. We saw Critical lining up shock darts earlier, and that's what he's gone for now. He's even got the Hunter's Sphere to play with, but he's going to pull that real really early out and try and allow Bjorn to swing. Critical, able to net only the first. Now it's Frosty who is going to get the res back. Poach still sitting in his Viper's pit. He does have the wall right in front of him, but he's got so much to do as 3 players are sitting right in front of him. He goes for the swing, and now it's up to Critical down to the 1v1. Low HP on the last, and he's not going to find it. The resurrection wins them the round, and Goofy Goobers are finally going to find their first round.
That was it. Critical. He tried to peep back at a good time. He was trying to take away that timing from the actual plan, because of course he wanted to go for a bit of a fake, and Critical kind of counteracting that off the swing. Not a bad idea, but wow. Just that initial interaction there from Poach to even take down the Sova that was on top of pipes. They ended up taking him away from the pits. And not only that, but giving Goofy Goobers essentially full control of sites. That 50-50 that we saw from Critical was actually the most kind of optimal situation that you could get from that. And BBG, a couple of misplays here and there, leads them into their first lost round.
I mean, that's one way to especially counter such a detrimental ultimate like that on a retake, is you just stick together and hope that you're able to get a trade. And there's Suya. No trade available here for the side of BBG, as Freak is what's going to net the second. And that's what I was mentioning earlier. You get a kill, you can get out so quickly. And Decomp, he's just going to try and push this issue. He might be able to get a kill, but it's not going to happen. Still a 3 versus 4 with a revive potential for BBG. But Goofy Goobers in full control of this round, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that play over towards mid, I was feeling that one. Using the pings alongside a quick orb. Very much worth it if he ends up getting the kill there. Don't really think his team is really at a detriment, but we do have a revive on the server, and indeed it's going to go out. As I mentioned it, you're picking up Critical and Poach over in mid. Catching off Freakazoid as for the second time of the round, he goes aggressive. And this time it's not exactly bearing gifts. Suya to run on in. Look at the path for Suya!
Oh.
Suya goes right up in the face of the teleporting Rarkar, and Rarkar eventually goes down, but Suya, he had his chance, but certainly didn't anticipate it. 25 seconds left, and the spike will be able to go down, and Poach with a light kill over towards Bathroom. No issues for him whatsoever. It's Frosty ZK now in a 1v3. Trying to make his way through. They do have Sova around the corner just watching this flank, and again they have someone getting all that information over towards mid, but Critical starts moving. Might have thrown off that interaction a bit, but Bjorn, sense of verticality certainly in his favor. 6-1. BBG take one back.
That should have been honestly completely in control of Goofy Goobers, and that's what it felt like. You could kind of see the mapping right in this replay. Look at the round and the way it played out. Full mid control from Goofy Goobers right off the bat. This kill in particular, I thought might have opened something up, but an instant reaction came out from Giza, who threw down that mid wall. And BBG, I've got no idea how they were able to adjust that quickly. They had the info that Viper was on the B site. Sage is down towards mid. You took down Freakazoid down towards mid as well. It's just Suya who's playing top Raptors with the up, and that TP from Rarkar gave them everything. Pulled away the attention of Suya, transitioning from Giza back to the A site, and they pounced at that exact moment. Goofy Goobers, it should have been a round they picked up, but unfortunately, miraculously, I'd say, goes the other way of BBG, and now you're down 6-1, at least on the defensive side of Icebox. You got to find a recovery soon.
Look at this setup mid. Such a weird spot to try to crossfire. Especially with how modified a position Suya actually has to be, but it's because of this shorty, right? Decop right up front. Nobody knows it just yet. Decop actually pops out at a pretty optimal moment. That could be good. He's just playing peekaboo and he comes out. Oh no. It's a tragedy from there, but it was a good attempt.
Yeah. It's not the old shorty, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Did what he could, but yeah, given the guns, we kind of saw this coming. See, we'll be very thankful to get a kill here. Okay. Maybe look for a little bit more damage, but there's one guy on his back no matter what, so it feels like it seems to be a lost cause. I don't even know if he spotted him. Definitely sees him now. Oh, Suya. Okay. Dancing around. It's fine. It's fine. 7-1 for BBG, and yeah, first cast back in 2 months in our first map for us. It's 7-1.
No way. It's the funny Brazil meme. We made it. First map back. It feels good to be back. God. Ran out of options there too. Didn't really do much about it. This next round, however, should be a little bit more entertaining. Suya has been fishing for kills with this op this entire game, Sully. It's almost been kind of unfortunate that he hasn't been able to really get any sort of optimal opportunity.
Yeah.
He currently only has 4 kills, but has that op back in a pretty good spot.
And it's due in part, I'd say, to BBG just being super good at clearing the op angle, right? Every time that it feels like Suya has an opportunity for a pick in the first 10 or so seconds, it's an alley that forces him out of position, and BBG, they're not even going to be ones to take this fight. So this is information for Goofy Goober. It's like, okay, Suya has seen nobody towards the A main portion. Let's try and rotate a little bit more heavily towards this B side where we are feeling this pressure. And it looks like BBG, they're making that perfect read. 3 players are still over towards this A side. They're just waiting to get the timing, see what information can be collected here by Bior alongside Will, and it looks like for now no information has been collected, but they are waiting for that recon. However, Goofy Goobers, this is such a great read from them as well. They're rotating straight back to A.
This is quite the war of attrition for these two teams. It's quite awkward to see where this is going to end up. Of course, it's going to be the B site, but how is it going to end up? Goofy Goobers, they're having a little bit of an inclination that they're here. And look at the run pass. Frosty's EK! He ends up getting spotted by Will. Will sifting through the sand, and he finally finds the Viper there. And now it's just down to BBG with full control of sight. They have a Viper wall up. They have Viper U still on. Sage wall is still there. Freakazoid wants to enter first. He goes around a very tight angle. Take him down a little bit in terms of HP. Dismisses there, gets a little bit more information. Bior dropping in, and now line of sight is gone. Freakazoid has to watch. Decop gets a kill. Freakazoid stops it. That's the round, isn't it? Bior can't get there. Goofy Goobers, they have themselves a second.
One individual play from Freakazoid. Perfect management of his dismisses as well. He uses it consistently to get information. He catches the Rarkar napping on this first kill, and this is what kicks it off. He should have been watching the Rarkar. The comm didn't come quick enough. They shot at Freakazoid, finds that first kill, and the triple swing as well. Player in the back, one on the spike. Freakazoid using their diverted attention to just find those last 2 kills. A perfect retake from him individually. And BBG, again, another round where one team in control who should have had it, it goes the other way due to just one mishap or one insane play. And that round, it was all Freakazoid.
Look at this early Sage wall. Plugging up
and
main, and this is where Suya can shine, but he's not really able to get any sort of pick, any sort of pixel. Rarkar is just all too clean up towards mid. Frosty's EK. The back line of sight, and Rarkar has called him out perfectly with it. Rarkar's pathing has just given BBG the round, essentially.
He's done this mid lurk couple of rounds now, and every single time, it's always netted something for them. And in this instance, it's able to find them 2 kills off the bat. And in that position as well, if you are ECOP, you can't really support your teammate mid. You can't really do much there. And Rarkar continuing his rampage with his 3rd kill. BBG, again, a nice clean take off of a Rarkar lurk, and now at this point, Goofy Goobers staring an 8-2 scoreline unless we've seen them come back from worse, and Giza's got an open opportunity again. It's Rarkar that's caught napping and has a dink, but not a kill. Unfortunate there, as looked like maybe there was an opportunity, but yeah, BBG picking up the 8th round. Suya's going to save the operator into the next as we head towards the last 2 rounds of this half.
A big one for BBG. They start off by taking away a little bit more pressure over towards the B side. And then, of course, coupled up with the mid play. Rarkar, nobody looking out. There's 2 players in B main. There's 1 person right outside of kitchen. Just a light path for him. And just like that, again, Sully, it's built by gamers winning with some of the, some of the weirdest ways, some of the weirdest paths. But, it's just kind of working. Although some of the rounds are scrappy, can't really say much. If it's working, it's working. And Goofy Goobers, they haven't really been able to build up too much of their economy. Suya, once again, buying up that op. Let's see if it works.
Slow take, TP in the back. He's going to try and cheat around the wall. Suya needed to land that shot. That's why you saved the op. Can't find anything there. Rarkar in the smoke. Okay, Suya. He's going to at least get 1, but down goes the Viper's pit. And then a post plant like this on the B site as well. This is going to be very difficult for Goofy Goobers to take, even with this man advantage. And as Freakazoid does that a second, it still doesn't. It gets a little bit easier, but there's a swing, and it's just down to 1.
Poach sitting in the middle of the cloud, sitting right on the spike. Still has a snake bite run in front of him.
Oh,
no way! Where did Freak come from? Freak didn't see him at all. That was just a shot right through the cloud, opening up the round. And it's an amazing time in Valorant when we see a Viper in the pit and we anticipate that it's possible to go for the 1v3. It's kind of weird to put that into context, but going back into that, Freakazoid stopped that whole thing with a shot, blank through the clouds. That's wonderful.
A little bit of luck, apparently, is all you really need. Freakazoid again, coming up big for his team. He wins the fight back towards V-Main. That round, I think, is entirely different if Freakazoid loses that fight, because then you go to a 3 versus 3. You have a player already in the Viper's pit, and now it's just 2 players coming from one side. So huge props to Freakazoid again, who's able to net 2 massive kills to win his team the round. And Frosty, for the second time in this app, is going to use this Viper's pit to maintain control. However, the interesting thing is he hasn't gone deep enough, right? Normally we see Viper ults on that pipe where you can get a little bit of elevation, but he's gone and sat back on this A site. Suya is going to find a kill down towards mid. So I guess the idea of this Viper's ult is don't get too much control. Still kind of gesture to BBG that you can come towards the A site. You want to maybe split up mid, and he's been able to find another pick here. Again, Suya down towards mid.
There you go. Suya starting off right. What's going on with Frosty ZK? Of course, the early Viper's pit leave these players in such a gray area. And Decop, that's massive. And Poach can continue to frag out as he takes down Frosty ZK early. The Viper's pit, the X Factor is gone. And not only that, but the knives, they miss out too. That was so crucial in BBG. They are clean on site. They have that spike down. Will stays perched up over at the top of Tin Can. He ends up getting taken down off the trade from Giza, but BBG 9-3. That's the end of the half.
Super solid first half from BBG. That entire half felt like a great understanding of how they're pulling those rotations from Goofy Goobers. Multiple late lurks from Rarkar and Goofy Goobers. There were definitely moments where it felt like, okay, they're in full control of this round, but BBG were able to pull out of their back pocket. Now going into the second half, obviously I'd say Icebox has always been traditionally a little bit more attacking favored. So we'll see what Goofy Goobers can pull out of their hat as well. With that Viper again, allowing them to make very clean executions at times with BBG. It just feels like right now they are looking really strong individually, winning out a lot of these insane duels, especially an example of Rarkar on those solo lurks, and he's been fantastic so far. So Goofy Goobers, at least in this first map, it's definitely not feeling too good, but a pistol around here could definitely maybe spur something, who knows.
So something that I've been thinking about this entire game is I think that I was incorrect when I say that I haven't commentated Freakazoid yet. I think like maybe like twice or like 3 times in CS. You know, I just feel like that's been a thing. I don't know. Freakazoid probably just chilling out on this game thus far. You know, kind of talking about individual impact thus far. BBG. Not too many players where we can point at and just been like, oh yeah, that's the guy on this team. That's really carrying him.
Right, yeah. I mean, a lot
Good
of
job,
times
group-wise.
it's a lot of trade-offs, right? Will, obviously in the first 2 rounds, the big impact player. Rarkar has had his moments with solo lurks on their attacking side, and I mean, you give a team like BBG, I feel like, time to work things out, figure out what exactly they want to do, how they want to master their gameplay, and you'll get a team like this. And again, Rarkar, he's on another one of these solo lurks.
Oh, and there he goes. Rarkar getting himself 2 right as the spike walks right into his crosshair. He could potentially get another one. Never mind, Frosty. Jumping right on through, getting that right click. And the decay has left him a little bit worse. But where as Poach comes around the corner and shuts down the route. And Giza has 0 chance.
At this point,
pretty much.
Giza, I was gonna say maybe get a kill for your res, but nothing comes to it. So Goofy Goobers, I would say 100% need that pistol round. Now that they've dropped it, BBG, it's kind of the same cycle that we saw in the first half. You win the pistol, you're going to try and bonus for the third here by buying up strong. But at this point, you expect Goofy Goobers as well to buy up. So we might have an early force up from both sides. However, it looks like Goofy Goobers are going to take a little bit more lenient option and go again for upgraded pistols.
tough option for Goofy Goobers to even go for this. Let's see how they treat it, though. They would need a very quick trade for that. But instead, they're going to leave Spike all the way in the control of BBG. They try to kind of just hit for the hills off of this split. It could still work, though. They have isolated one of the players all the way back in B main. Giza is watching out for this cross. It's such a good spot. Could allow at least for one extra kill. But Giza is just going to spread that information to his teammate. That one player, at least one, is going all the way back to B main. Decop, however, needs to recover up this spike, and it's just simply not happening. BBG now has full control of it. Decop still fighting. Sage Wall on the other side. Face to face against Poach, and now Giza is in that back line with a frenzy, looking to start things off. 3 kills now for Giza, needs the ace, but Rarkar has the angle from the top, knocking away the toes of Giza. 11-3 BBG. Really going right as Goofy Goobers. I mean, certainly their investment in this round has to be wraps.
Yeah, that was probably my exact same thought process. Like, okay, if you force in this round, you have maybe a little bit of a gap to work with because you will go in the next, even if you were to lose it. But then you have to play against possible 9 rounds of map points. So BBG, a win here would probably seal their fate. However, with Goofy Goobers not electing to invest in that round fully, they'll have rifles here, and this could be that turning point again. Who knows? Freakazoid's been so good individually this game. Not going to be able to punish anything right off the bat. So he's going to, again, kind of go for one of those solo plays. Suya is there to support, but this is the major engagement. Poach has won it once more. And he's going to force these Goofy Goober players back. And in response, it's up to Freakazoid and Suya to take more space towards A. And Freakazoid, he's good for at least one.
Freakazoid good for one. Rarkar has already made a little bit of noise, though, on that front line. And now he's the last player. He has to get this angle on Suya, but Suya, good job taking his time, actually getting that dash out. And just about a minute left on the clock. The spike is about to go down on the B side of Rarkar. Goofy Goobers, although at the 3v1, it looks possible for Rarkar. Well done for Goofy Goobers, though. They have a round back.
Yeah, that felt entirely possible given the HP of everyone on Goofy Goobers. And the fact that he's able to take down Suya immediately after he finds Frosty, I was like, okay, it's a low HP player and critical left over, or probably just not critical, decop left over. There's a real chance to win this. But Goofy Goobers, another kind of solo play, not entirely falling onto Freakazoid, but a great reaction from after losing, or Goofy Goobers losing essentially all of B main control. Him and Suya's reaction to take initiative and find some control back towards A main to try and get a net positive, or at least neutralize things, works out fantastically in their favor. Now look at this. The Viper's Pit creates a tiny one-way, it feels like, for Freakazoid as Poach clearing out the top rope. He's able to find the first.
No way, he's dead though. Freakazoid has made his way through. So this is quite the opening.
Oh, the nade
alongside Will coming around the corner, and the paranoia combo. Well done for BBG on the fly, taking away this pressure from this one choke point. And Goofy Goobers, they all get funneled instantly.
You gotta love that reaction. As soon as Freakazoid clicks the button for dismiss, he knows Will is like, okay, I know he's gonna back up. I'm just gonna toss a nade, and I'm gonna instantly apply pressure. Very well done again by BBG on this defensive side. Freakazoid, yeah, that dismiss button goes. The initial reaction from the arena is, okay, I'm gonna try and back up, and Will was like, I'm gonna take that space that he's left over. So Goofy Goobers, now it's 8 map points in a row that they've got to battle against, and it certainly, Gus, is not the most favorable buy at all.
Oh, what? Love this from BR early on, covering up the corner of sight. The Sage Wall. Yeah. This is the kind of cheese that you love to see at the very last round of the game.
Yeah. The only thing I will say, though, is that it kind of gets a little bit nullified because you can play that range and you can knock down that Sage wall and then activate the
for
Viper's
sure.
Pit, which it feels like at this point in time you kind of want to, but the res is gone from Giza. They know where the spike is now. Critical's almost going to get taken down by the Shock Dart as Poach. He's able to find that solo lurk from Freakazoid. So again, Goofy Goobers, no real ground gained as it can continuing to push forward. It's Rarkar, putting it now in a 5 versus 2, and Goofy Goobers, things might just be GG here.
Might just be. D-Cop. Right on in. Can't get much done. Now it's just down to 1. It's Suya. And a 1v5 trying to cross over towards that mid side. 13-4.